Okay, I believe I'm on, and it looks like it. Yep, 1, 2. Yes, I am on. Okay. All right, so thank you for all attending, and today I'm going to talk about the influence of God. Yeah, the relationship of how all of us have our individuality, how all of us have our quality, our sound, yeah, our thumbprints, yeah, what makes us us. Yeah, and God has a sound, yeah, and it's unlike anybody else's sound. Yeah? It's God's sound, yeah? And the influence of the word that comes out of God, yeah, is things that set things right. Yeah, I mean, everything is in a separative state. Everything is intellectual. Everything is God in the machine. Everything is, you know, God in the machine. Yeah, that's where we find God. Yeah, yeah, and it's not intellectual. You can't find God there. Yeah, God's in the Word. Yeah, so there's in the principle of the coming of Christ, there's a lot of talk about, here comes Christ. What's he going to do? We're going to have an apocalypse, or he's going to raise us all up. We're all going to ascend into heaven, and everybody else is just going to go crazy, all kinds of things. Yeah, but what if it really is more to do with the Word? Yeah, more to do with just the fact that it's nice to have him here, and quiet down, and what comes out of him cannot be repeated. Yeah, just can't. Yeah, you could try all your best, but the best you could do is be as quiet as possible so that the influence of that word becomes a revelation. Because it's very advanced. It's very non-apocalyptic. Yeah, it's very it works things out. It has a plan that incorporates every living thing that's not included in the process of the way people could see things. Yeah, how they can better understand things. Yeah, the influence that comes with Christ has the influence that comes with knowing God. So it's not about trying to figure out what is humanity doing. Yeah, why are they doing that? Yeah, everybody's messing up. And where Christ's case, it's not about that. It's about God, because that's his closest relationship. Yeah, and not the people who are saying the things they say or the things that go on and all that goes on in the world. Yeah, so with the Christ, the influence is working out, the process in the world. But that's just simply by, focusing on the Word. Yeah, like this teaching, or doing Yom, or setting up. Under my teaching, you would think that they're like Pythagoras and others are directly a lineage of my teaching. They have teachings that are extremely similar, if not exactly the same. So if you look through the process of masters and the expression of what goes on in the science of redemption, you'll find, a certain methodology, which is to increase the amplification or the sensitivity of the radiation of the one. So in Buddhism, it's like a stupa, or like the body of Buddha. Yeah? And it's geomancy. It's not really a body. It's tetrahedrons and triangles and squares and pyramids, and it makes up the body of Buddha, sitting in prostration or sitting in a chair, or even standing. Yeah? The entire process of the stupa or sacred geomancy or the application of a mandala is based on this. So when we look at some things, you know, especially the things of the masters, the activity that goes on in the world, that most people aren't really that aware of, but it's there. Yeah, so like something like this. That's not a small landscape. Yeah, that's a huge undertaking. Yeah, and that's not for people to go, oh, you know, this or that. Yeah, it's to vibrate. Yeah, it's to harness the energy of a science. Yeah, yeah. Everything I talk about is based on this science. It's Buddhism. Yeah, it's the Christ. It's the principle behind the Christ. Is the Word of God. Yeah, take you to that. Just that. All the rest is misunderstanding. And it makes chaos. It makes everything a mystery. You can never figure out because it's all God in the machine. Yeah. So these sciences, this science, is created to resonate just one being. Yeah. Yeah. The embodiment, manifestation, the Bodhisattva or the Buddha, you know, the avatar. Yeah. That one connection between heaven and earth, and not being a religion, but being a fact. Yeah. So by just doing this and having all that goes on in relationship to knowing, you know, the empowering relationship that comes out of the Word. Yeah. Because when Buddha was created, he was created by the Word. Yeah. From something that didn't even exist. It was a consciousness of light and consciousness. Yeah, that consciousness became a word, and that word became physical. Yeah, just like Adam, or just like the incarnation of Buddha. Yeah, yeah. So it's not about anything else. Yeah, everything else gets fixed. Yeah, just by allowing the energy to reach the source. Yeah, and let it resonate into the earth. So all the masters do this. All the masters do this. And we have it in our culture. We have it in our history. This is the only thing that actually is done. Everything else is a bunch of talk. God in the machine explaining this or that. But it's not explaining the outcome of goodness. The work of redemption. And the hope and the faith and everything that comes from that. Yeah. You know, so that's what I'm trying to instill. This is going on, yeah. Yeah, so from there, we see a bigger relationship. Yeah, this is Sri Aurobindo's place. Yeah, and I was there. Before it was opened, I was there while it was being built. I was there when it was illegal to be there. I snuck in, you know, I was forced out, but I was there. Yeah, and there's a process in this little thing that has to do with the science of redemption, the planetary logos. It's a science that brings the light of the sun, yeah, consistently going into this crystal ball. Big old crystal ball that's sitting on top of a 6-pointed star in the form of a cube. Yeah. And I don't base my science on this. They base their science on me. So this is the base of that cube. And if you look at the center of it, yeah, it's an ohm, yeah, and it's a 6-pointed star. And it sits in the center of this dome. That above it has a relationship to a mirror that reflects the movement of the sun. Yeah? So it's working in harmony with the light of the planetary logos. Yeah? Not thinking of a person, but knowing of the science of God creates the avatar, and the avatar is hidden in the light. You got to go to the light to get to the avatar. Yeah? So all sciences in the hierarchy are based on radiating that light and creating a geomancy or even an image or an understanding, a consciousness and a teaching that comes from that teacher. Yeah. So where I was born, this showed up. Yeah. This great big Sri Yantra. Yeah. Nearly a mile wide. Showed up over a 1-day period. Yeah. And this is less than 100 miles from my birthplace. Yeah. And the military flies over this all the time. So one day it's there. Yeah. Yeah. But the day before it wasn't. And they're constantly flying over this area. So this thing, this humongous Sri Yantra just appears. And it's radiating, no matter who did it, no matter how it was done, you know, it's there. Yeah, and it's radiating. Overnight, what Sri Aurobindo took years and years and years and years and years and years to do. Yeah, that's kind of cool, kind of trippy. But it's part of the science, and I'm a little bit more, aware of that science. Yeah. So when I'm coming into incarnation, I focus on this particular reality. Yeah. The relationship of what's known as the phi ratio. Yeah. That relationship that's found inside of sound. Yeah. If I play this conch shell, that 432, that sound wave frequency, harmonizes that octave of constant movement and flow. Yeah? It goes directly to the consciousness, right out of the heart, through every single chakra, perfectly. Yeah. So we find it in all plants. We find it in everything, because everything in reality is the living consciousness of God. Yeah. Not another being, just God. Yeah. So that's why when God speaks, God has a lot of authority in relationship to goodness. Yeah. People are not bad, they are not faulty, they do not make mistakes, they just need light. And all of a sudden, they change. And they do what you could imagine they could do, rather than all the other things that go on in the world that you can't explain because it's God in the machine kind of thing. Yeah. But it's just a matter of meditation, relaxing, and allowing God to flow as a soul. And then you see the soul. But if you judge people and think that they have a soul and they're not abiding to the soul, it's not a process. Because people receive the soul. Yeah? And they receive it by people meditating around them or staying calm around them. They express more soulfulness. Does that make sense? Yeah. So that's the reason for all these great big systems like this. This is Aurobindo's place. This is how big that is. And look at the geometric pattern that's in that. Yeah. This is just one of my students. Yeah. Manifesting this on earth. It's there. It's manifested. It's looking good. Yeah. And it's functioning. It's not on a computer. It's not on anybody there sitting, meditating, functioning, making it happen. It's happening because I'm alive, and it is sponsored because of this. That. Me. My influence. There is a difference when an avatar takes an incarnation. That is the entire cosmos. It's not a planet. It's not the sun. It's not even a human being. It's all the galaxies, all the cosmos. Yeah? Yeah? And then this is reflected inside the atom. Microcosm, macrocosm. Yeah? And this is atom. The physical manifestation. And this is a harmonic resonance. Yeah? Just like a mandala made manifest through the Word of God, through the will of God. There's nothing here that wills itself into manifestation. Does that make sense? Yeah? So it's not a religion, it's a science. been going on a long time. Yeah, even during the ancient Indians, yeah, or all through the cycle of history, we have the sacred geomancy going on. Yeah. But most of that relationship is based on the influence of the word, and in the Sri Yantra, all the way back to Hindu times. The Om, the word, the sound, the original sound includes consciousness. And it includes, if you study the Hindu interpretation, it includes every single potential virtue that's found in a deva, in an angel, not just a human being. So this literally would be kind of like the impression of God's creation. Yeah, the purpose, the influence of the purpose. Yeah, that everything is angelically designed, divinely, and it's held in this matrix, in a matrix of goodwill in action, in its evolution. Yeah, and there is absolutely no possible way for that to be taken out of reality other than through the delusion of the astral plane and the mind. Because the mind just goes through emotions and frustrations and thoughts, and no matter how beautiful this is, it gets cluttered by the impurities of the enormous astral plane of the masses of humanity, and not by any singular human being. Yeah? So what has to happen is not just purify humanity, but purify the earth. That purifies humanity. So I create something like that. Yeah? And put it in the same circular form. Yeah? Directly connected to what Aurobindo's doing and everything else I'm connecting. All the pyramids in India and all the stupas on Earth and all the influences of sacred geomancy and prayer. Because I have speakers going on, I have the pyramid going on, I have solar principle going on, and I have the influence of this sitting in the most ancient place on the planet Earth. So it's an earth generator for all things, past, present, and future. Yeah? It just instills goodness. Whatever's there, it's in it. It instills it, just like the energy that's in the lake. It's there because it's there. It is what it is. And this planet is good. Yeah? No matter what we see in cycles, that we can only live and think back 200 years, it's nothing compared to God. Yeah? Creation. Yeah? The avatar, the manifestation of all things. So hidden inside of the work of Christ is the saving of the earth and the transfiguration of everything that goes on Earth. Yeah? This is a very, very big, big energy field here in India. India has a ray package of a 1 and a 4. Those are very difficult rays to balance. Yeah? But if they were to build something like this, and I showed up as it's being built after both of the gurus died, and there's nobody supporting this thing except for me. I walked in and I started building pyramids and geometric forms just to carry on the relationship of the hierarchy. Yeah? Because this is where the hierarchy was at. And this is what I can do, because I can only work with the level of consciousness that the hierarchy exhibits. Does that make sense? I can't be way up there, yeah, because I'd have no students. Everything is under a right relationship, and everything is established, even though you don't know it's happening. These sciences are the actual sciences of the whole of the hierarchy. Yeah? This is a very big project. It's a very powerful thing. Yeah? And this is equally, if not more, powerful. Yeah? Because it's radiating into the earth. And the earth itself is a talisman. Yeah? It's located in ways that it's so sacred, so beyond anybody's wildest imagination, that it sits inside the universe as heaven, as a coexisting reality of heaven on earth. Yeah? Its sacred geomancy is applied in the creation of the planet and the manifestation of where our location is at and how we communicate to the whole of the universe. Our place, yeah? It's part of the plan, yeah? It's not like, oh, we're all heaven, da-da-da-da. Yeah? If we look at it and we see it and we start meditating and cooperate with the greatness of this place, despite the wars, despite negativity that sits right in front of your face, but try and stay calm, yeah? And this science from the hierarchy will get closer to humanity. Because it's here, it's there with me, yeah? But all this bullshit crap personality stuff, yeah, blocks it from actually getting into the earth and maintaining the earth and have a response. Does that make sense? So all the work that they're doing, it's happening. We're on the earth. We created Aurobindo, yeah? We created all these wonderful, wonderful places. So there's an enormous change of transfiguration, for the earth. Yeah. And it's in process. Yeah. So just showing you that kind of should give you a sense, that the process of Christ is about planetary healing. Yeah. And the Christ radiates as an individual, not just aura and fantastic, he's Buddha or Christ, yeah, but radiates a sound, yeah, that comes in that body that is in the same likeness of God. My Father and I are one, and the only thing I know is that he sounds a whole lot like me, yeah. So I just relax into it, and I could be one with God, yeah. So that's it's the simplest. God's made it, yeah. Just by me, if I stay calm, I speak, and the things that I speak is darshan, and that is God, yeah. And I'm not God, but I'm definitely God's good representative, and that's what the soul is, yeah. And you see other people, saying really good things and doing really good things and good acts and everything. That's God coming through them. That's the soul. It's not about that person. It's about God. Okay, so let's do our invocation. Yo, God. Yeah, because in this new age, they have channeling of extraterrestrials. They have channeling of the dead. And then we have a Dalai Lama, and we got to discriminate. Is this really a master? Is this a guru? Is this a Buddha? Says he is. Everybody does, So I have to decide it myself, But to not be, rebelliously irreverent, at least I'm going to accept it. And that's what goes on. Because you don't want to be irreverent, We have really bad outcome from that, from the past. And just to be irreverent when you're a good person just doesn't feel right, So you stay with the flow, You got yourself a Dalai Lama out there, you got yourself Sai Baba out there, you got yourself a Hitler reincarnated out there. You stay with the flow, yeah? But in my case, I see these people for what they really are, yeah? And I can't stay with the flow. Because the flow is totally different. The flow is the science that I'm talking about. Yeah, it's an active relationship of allowing the vibration of the word to be the transmission. Yeah, it's not about reading from a book or sitting in front of a statue and receiving prayers or sitting in front of a guru or Rinpoche or anybody like that. Yeah, it's about actually coming in contact with the Christ. Because it's in the Word, yeah? So it's the influence of the Word that brings about change. And it's that influence in the Word that brings about closeness to the truth. And right now, we're under the influence of personality, where people are under delusions of grandeur as to what is the truth, yeah? And the working of that out is all based inside of religion and philosophy and mysticism and the occult. Yeah, kind of a very psychic area. Yeah, so that's where we get caught. That's where the biggest hooks are at. So I try and help everybody relax because I'm not deeply associated. I'm in transmission. Yeah, whether I'm with Tibetan Buddhism, I tell you the truth about it. Yeah, I just said these are the way these people really are. They're not that safe, and they got problems. Yeah, so that's helping your personality, but it's helping the relationship that we have that keeps us with a hook. Yeah, and we don't know that we have a hook going on. Yeah, and it's by me helping to share the science of redemption. It could help you calm down. Because it's not your problem. You didn't create the hook. It's the Dalai Lama sitting on that throne. Big hook. Really big. With millions of people believing it, following it, fostering it. Same with Sai Baba, same with the Pope, same with the local priest. Yeah? It causes blinders. Yeah? And that's our hook. You don't know you're hooked. You don't know you get hooked because it's behind the blinder. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it's not God in the machine. I can tell you the truth, but I can't free you from that hook. Yeah. The only thing I could do with that is tell you about the science and try and relax that there's a real hierarchy, there really is a Christ, and he doesn't work in any way you think. Yeah. He works through the word. Invocation, evocation, yeah, and solving problems that are not based on concreteness, but it's based on the misdirected relationship of chakras inside the system that's made manifest by this dark lodge that goes on. So by me creating this divine ceremonial order, this ceremonial magic, yeah, it attunes to the relationship of this planet being in its divine grace and not having darkness and hate and all the different qualities that come with the vices that are hidden behind that veil, that are those hooks that we don't know are there until we get so frustrated that they come up. And all of a sudden we're wrapped up in hooks we haven't gotten rid of yet. Yeah? Does that make sense? Yeah? So the quickest way that it's done is by the science that I'm providing. Yeah, and it's been going on for thousands of years. So that helps you with your faith. Yeah, that helps clarify things. But since I'm here, as we cooperate with this process, we actually close a door that I can only tell you about. Yeah, but once it's closed, you'll know it exists. You'll know that door did close. Yeah, and you'll see it in every child. You'll see it in every adult. You'll see it in every nation. Yeah? You'll see soul. Yeah? You'll see it working out. Yeah? Things working out where they just simply couldn't have ever worked out before. Yeah? And the only way you can explain it is through the science of redemption, the Holy Spirit, and the process of changing from the dark lodge to the white lodge. Yeah? Christ rather than Satan. Cool. Read that in a book. Yeah, so just hang in there. Great fun. Okay, let's do our little invocation. Oh. Okay, just repeat after me. I invoke the power, the love, the wisdom of my ashram, soul, and monad. To guide me into the right activity in the plan. To clarify and stimulate my mind. To transform and transmute my feelings and emotions. To energize and vitalize and heal my physical and etheric body. To this day and every day, I ask this in the name of the Christ to serve the one. All in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Seven rays to raise the senses of humanity, expressed as the soul. I invoke the sense of hearing in the seventh ray. Sense of touch and the first ray as the finger of God. I invoke the sense of sight as the third ray, as the eye of God. I invoke the sense of taste as the sixth ray, as the desire of all the nations. Sense of smell as the fourth ray, the beauty of revelation. I invoke the sense of intellect as the fifth ray, as the knowledge of God. I invoke the sense of intuition as the second ray, the understanding of God. Expressed through your personality. As the first ray of ideas, the mental body, the purpose, your life. The second ray of ideals, the astral body, and your quality. The third ray of idols, your physical body and your form. The fourth ray of the fourth kingdom, humanity in balance. The fifth ray, the third kingdom, the animals. The sixth ray, the second kingdom, vegetables. The seventh ray, the first kingdom, minerals. I call upon the relationships of all the kingdoms to penetrate the personality of humanity and express its collective soul. Seventh ray and the fourth ray as the mineral kingdom. The second ray, the fourth ray, and the sixth ray as the vegetable kingdom. The third ray and the sixth ray as the animal kingdom. The fourth ray and the fifth ray as the human kingdom. The fifth ray and the second ray as the egoic soul. The sixth ray and the third ray as planetary lives. First ray and the seventh ray as solar lives. penetrate the planet Earth, to bring forth the geomantic relationships of the soul, to integrate the egoic ray and the personality ray of each nation, and and to express its true expression, to make manifest peace on earth as one living whole body of God. I call upon India to bring forth its fourth ray of personality and to integrate its first ray of soul to manifest the hidden light. I invoke China to bring forth its third ray personality to integrate its egoic soul into its first ray to manifest as the indication of the way. I invoke Germany to bring forth its first ray of personality to integrate its egoic soul of fourth ray to preserve the truth. I invoke France and its third ray personality to integrate its fifth ray of egoic soul to release the light. I invoke Great Britain and its first ray personality and its second ray egoic soul to bring forth its service. I invoke Italy and its fourth ray personality to integrate its sixth ray soul to carve the two paths. I invoke the United States and its sixth ray personality to integrate its second ray soul to light the way. I invoke Russia and its sixth ray personality to integrate its seventh ray soul to link the two ways. I invoke Australia and its fifth ray personality to integrate its fourth ray soul and serve the lighted way. I invoke Spain and its seventh ray personality to integrate its sixth ray soul to disperse the clouds. I invoke Brazil and its second ray personality to integrate its fourth ray soul to hide the seed. I invoke the entity of this planet, the planetary logos, to incarnate the life and the beingness of this planet. I invoke the expression of the second ray force into both the personality and the egoic rays of the nation and the personality of the egoic ray of humanity to fuse itself and its light into its healing process. I invoke the esoteric law of solar energy to make manifest the cosmic force of light, love, and peace. I invoke the power, the love, and the wisdom of your ashram, soul, and monad. To guide you into the right activity in the plan. I invoke the alignment of the 7 rays. To your 7 chakras. I invoke the alignment of the 3rd ray. To your throat center. I invoke the alignment of the 7th ray. To your sacral center. I invoke the alignment of the 2nd ray to your heart center. I invoke the alignment of the 6th ray to your solar plex. I invoke the alignment of the 1st ray to your crown center. I invoke the alignment of the 4th ray to your base center. I invoke the alignment of the 5th ray to your brow center. I invoke the light of the Christ within. I invoke the nature of the Buddha that you are to become.
Davic angelic beingness that you can be.
Seven rays of
I invoke the celestial spheres, the sounds of heaven, the sounds of God, the song of love. Sacred sites, Om Great Pyramid, Om Portal. I invoke the healing through the meridians and the ley lines of this earth, the pulse of the seven rays, the awakening of the logos, the healing of humanity, the coming forth of the hierarchies, the saving grace of truth.
Planetary, logos, solar, logos, cosmic, Om, one God, one law, one life.
I invoke the angel that you are to wake up,
Science of redemption, science of God. Sacred geomancy,
I invoke all mankind to dream in visions, to awaken, to live.
Om unity
Okay, just relax. Open your eyes. So, just a little bit more teaching and I'll be done for the evening. If we look back at the time of Jesus, you'll see the process where 12 disciples, did not see or believe in Satan. Yeah, they knew of evil spirits because I exorcised them. You know, the people were not going through what they were going through because of the way people said. Yeah, if they had a demon in them, I was able to help. Yeah, and if they needed a healing that was in relationship to something like that, then I was able to help. Yeah, but when it comes down to, you know, returning limbs and all this fancy magic stuff, you know, it really doesn't work. It doesn't happen. Yeah. So everything I did was an example of what I expect. Yeah. I don't expect people to grab and hug the nearest possessed person, you know. But I expect people to know that that's what I do. That's what I do. Yeah. And don't project anything else on me. It's a hard job. Yeah. But they had a hard time doing that. Yeah. Because they found fault in themselves and they found fault in everything. Yeah. So when it came to, you know, the process, they were literally listening more to Satan than they were me. Yeah. And that's the case for everybody. That's, as I explained it on the cross as I was leaving the body. You know, it's you got to forgive them. They do not understand, and it is not their fault. Yeah, it is Satan. You just have no idea how this works. You know, what puts people through what they go through, from death to suffering to humiliation, all kinds of things, are opposite of soulful reality. Yeah, it's an outcome of the dark lodge. Yeah, it's an outcome. And I didn't go through that as an example. I went through that because it's the truth. Yeah, we're not supernatural, gonna take over the world kind of thing. Yeah, we've got to do this with peace. We have to do this with meditation. Yeah, it has to be done my way. Yeah, not through aggression or all these other delusions of grandeur that were going on at that time, expecting certain things of me or other people. Yeah. So by the end of my process, you know, they couldn't even recognize me when I came back. Yeah. It was just, you know, no way. You know, simply because of their lack of ability to not have that strong hook, that strong thread, go on during their time with me, and it got worse afterwards. Yeah. You know. So the history of those people was bad after that. They went through really hard times and really bad circumstances and situations, but it was Satan. Yeah? And it wasn't because they were praying. Yeah? Yeah? It was because of the situation. Yeah? I was there for a reason. Yeah? And it needed to be done my way. Couldn't be done, you know, by projecting at me, I've got to do it this way, and, You know, I got to behave like this, and I got to talk to certain people, and people get embarrassed or jealous and envious, and, you know, that put me on the cross. You know, that is not humiliation. That is channeling. It's Satan. And it's rather than the destiny of Christ, it was the manifestation of a ceremonial act of Satanism. Yeah. And it fulfilled that process. But, you know, people study hard and think and listen to me. They'll find out I did not die. I resurrected. That means I came back in my body, and I continued living, and I created Buddhism. I furthered my previous life. Yeah, you know. But that amount of energy that sits inside of people of not recognizing, under the delusion, like disciples, under the delusion of becoming a teacher. You know. Well, if he leaves, which one of you is going to be? Yeah, well, was it Peter or Paul? We built the church on a sucker. Yeah? Yeah? Got popes out of that. Yeah? They just took the place. Yeah? As though I came to create teachers. Does that make sense? I didn't. Yeah? I came to help people recognize me. Yeah? And give me some space. Let me walk away for 40 days and deal with Satan. You cannot. But if I choose to, don't tie me up where I'll end up on a cross. Because destiny's destiny. And I'm here to take care of business. Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah. So that's the process that goes on with the influence that people don't really know what it is that moves people. Yeah? So they are under the delusion on a personality aspect that the power of the soul has power to move people. As though, oh, this is a grand disciple, and therefore they have power, you know, more soulful abilities. But they don't. Think of the movie God is Dead, yeah? And the guy who used to play Superman on the TV series, he played this really nerdy, you know, creep, you know, that did not believe in God and didn't believe in his mom, who really believed in God, you know, and thought she was just wasting her life. And here she ends up senile and in a hospital bed and can't recognize anybody but loves corn and loves chicken. Yeah, and that's the only thing she can think of. You know, when he comes around, she's there. But she's senile as could be. She's completely lost. Yeah, no one can communicate with her. Yeah, he goes there, wants to talk with her, and he's in an event of God relationships are going on in this movie. One relationship after another. And it's not because anybody's soulful. Because God is expressing through people. Choosing to change people's lives. That's God's job. Yeah, it's not because people are asking. Watch the movie. Nobody's asking. Everybody's going, no way, it ain't happening, he's even dead. Make sense? I mean, you know, it's just the way it is. Even the religious people up there strumming away, they're not really strumming away. That's God moving them. And all of a sudden, in just one flurry of a second in God's mind, they can lose that. And they're just people standing there, able to play, but they don't have the sound, they don't have the music, they don't have the inspiration. Yeah? Yeah? Because their purpose is to flow with the body of Christ, to help people come in contact with Christ, to realize Christ is not dead. Not just that God is not dead, yeah? But what about, I mean, in the movie, it doesn't even mention Christ. I don't even think about that, you know? It's not only erasing, it's, you know, paralleling, we're erasing God, because we make it illegal, yeah, to worship God in a governmental place or in a library or in school, yeah? But you certainly cannot mention Jesus, yeah, let alone God. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the key. The whole key is to think that You know, we could do this without Jesus. We've gotten this far. Yeah? He works through us. There are disciples and masters. Yeah? There are popes and Dalai Lamas that represent this guy. Yeah? Obviously, you know, does that make sense? Yeah? You know, so, you know, that's why I teach what I'm teaching, you know, is to helpfully, effectively change the position that people have about Christ and learn that it's really necessary you become disciples, not think you're equal or think you or I have some certain power and it's going to rub off on you. Yeah, and it's going to some magical event. Yeah. Let it slide. It's in that movie. That elderly lady who's sitting in senility, you know, all of a sudden, while her son's sitting there who has no clue about God, he's asking questions, you know. And all of a sudden, God talks through her and gives him a parable, perfect parable of right relationship to his circumstance, and that God is the answer. Yeah? And then she goes back to eating corn. Nobody home. Yeah? And it's not like God in the machine, God uses you. Yeah? But that's how God works. We are all here for that. Yeah? Yeah? It happens. Yeah? We just have to constantly, the more faithful, the more hopeful, the more genuinely loving we are, the more that will happen in other people. And all the problems that you see and worries that you have will go away. It's not God who's creating those problems. Yeah? Does that make sense? That's a disciple. Yeah? That's how you keep Christ from going on a cross. That's how you keep little children from going on a cross. That's how you keep yourself from going on a cross. Does that make sense? Okay, enjoy. Thank you.